Hi, hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome. Welcome to this week's Facebook Live. So this week's a bit of a follow-on really from the last couple of weeks. I've been talking about estrogen. Last week I talked about some of the signs and symptoms of estrogen dominance. The week before I talked about the best foods to help support clearance of estrogen. You'll notice I put a little post up today about how aspartame can affect estrogen excess and how it can cause estrogen dominance, and you definitely shouldn't be having aspartame when you've got anything like MTHFR, COMT, endometriosis, estrogen dependent cancers, infertility, those kind of conditions. I'm going to actually do a specific Facebook Live on aspartame and a couple of similar kind of food additives and show you how it actually does interfere with your hormones. It's not just hearsay. There's actually different cleansing aspects of your liver. You've got phase 1 and you've got phase 2, and everything that goes into our body, our liver has to process in some way or another, and aspartame is processed on the same kind of pathway as some of the hormones. So this is why it can cause an issue. Hey Nikki, how are you? So I'm going to do a separate Facebook Live on that, so that's going to be quite interesting. But today I wanted to talk about my favourite supplements. Now I do talk a lot about food, and food is wonderful to cleanse the body, but sometimes with everything that's going on, stress, genetics, diet, toxins, exposure to toxins, where you live, do you live near a golf course, do you use weed killer, do you eat organic, inorganic, all of these kind of things can lead our body to being overexposed to toxins, and we cannot excrete them all, we cannot detox them all. Our liver finds it really difficult. Oh, I'm glad you're well. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a hand in which supplements can really help you the best and make the biggest difference, and why. So when it comes to estrogen, you know, estrogen, we need to look at our kidneys, we need to look at our lymphatic system, we need to look at our gallbladder, we need to look at our digestive system, we need to look at our liver. But today I'm going to focus on a few of those. So I'm not going to talk about so much about kidneys. I will focus on kidneys a little bit, but I want to talk about what supplements you can use to help your liver break down estrogen and excrete it. So breaking it down is done. You've got phase 1 and phase 2 of liver detoxification. And those are how your body excretes them, and once it breaks it down, it turns it into it's fat soluble, it turns it into something that your body can excrete. It either excretes it by the bowel using bile. So that's what bile is. Bile is like a soap. Bile in your gallbladder is like a soap, and what it does is it releases this bile, this soap, into your small intestine, and that helps hormones to be excreted, toxins, hydrocarbons, food additives, aspartame, parasites, fungi, yeast, all of those kind of things. So that's what happens there. Sometimes it will go into your kidneys, and it will be excreted as a water-soluble toxin via urine in your kidneys. Other times you'll sweat it out, infrared sauna, out through the armpits, all of that kind of thing. And sometimes you breathe it out. There's actually a few systems in the liver, some of the processes, they actually break down byproducts, and you're more likely to breathe it out. People with MTHFR need to focus on this, because sometimes that process, MTHFR, can be impeded. So you need to be working on your breathing and all of that kind of thing. So I just wanted to take you through. Now I do have notes for this one, just so you know. Sometimes I don't need notes, sometimes I do need notes because I forget. More recently I've been taking more notes because I was noticing I was forgetting stuff. Nikki, that's a really great question. If you have had your gallbladder out, you need to be focusing on supplementing. So you need to be supporting your liver to produce bile. You need to be taking apple cider vinegar, and you need to be taking ox bile, because ox bile will do the job instead of your gallbladder to break everything down. So the liver goes through these different kind of processes. We've got glutathione conjunction. That's where hi Sued, hi, how are you? glutathione conjunction. That's one of the processes in the liver. That's when the liver will get rid of things like hydrocarbons in perfumes. It will get rid of smoke from cigarettes, bonfires, candle smoke. It will get rid of pollution in the air like car exhaust fumes, and it will also help to break down your liver. So that's glutathione conjunction. We need lots of glutathione for that, so I'm going to touch on this in a bit. We've also got methylation. Now, most of you would have heard about methylation, MTHFR. Methylation is where hormones and toxins and lots of hormone byproducts and toxin byproducts are excreted from the body. In methylation, you'll make uric acid, you'll make ammonia, you'll make other things. my brain's going blank. Ammonia, and your body will excrete it. So it will break things down and your body will excrete it. Aspartame, that's broken down through methylation. So if you've got MTHFR, that's going to be slowed down and you won't be able to excrete it. Then you're going to build up of formaldehyde in the body, which isn't a nice thing. Hey Grace, thanks so much for joining. So nice to have you here. Hope Bubba's all right. So that's methylation. Then we've got sulfation. So sulfation is where your body will break down food additives, aspartame, hormones, neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. So if we don't have enough sulfation, you might get excess serotonin, you might get excess dopamine. It also breaks down cortisol, thyroid hormones, and xenoestrogen, and also all the toxins around you. So that's sulfation. That's another process. Hey, Erin. I think, oh, thanks, thank you. Yeah, I need to, when I start doing these Facebook Lives, I go down a bit of a rabbit hole. And that's sulfation. Then we've got acetylation. This is where the body will excrete more toxins. So that's another one. Then we've got glucuronidation. That's where your body will excrete paracetamol, aspirin, perfumes, Xanax, Zoloft, the pill, all of those medications that I'm going to think of. Also estrogens and bilirubin. So bilirubin is something that is excreted. So some people naturally have high bilirubin or Wilson's disease, where you get the yellowing of the eyes and high bilirubin in the blood. If you've got infections, you'll have high bilirubin. Well, this can inhibit you from excreting estrogen. So those are kind of the main processes I want to take you through. And the reason I wanted to go through those first was so I could then link it back to the best supplements to excrete estrogen, because I like to try and explain why I'm saying this is a good supplement. It's not just something, you know, that has been read somewhere or someone said it's a supplement at the time. Now, for those of you that know me, one of my favorite supplements is calcium D Glucorate. Calcium D Glucorate enhances the body's natural defenses. It helps to excrete environmental toxins, and it helps the process glucuronidation. So glucuronidation is where the body is breaking down drugs, paracetamol, painkillers, ibuprofen, bilirubin, estrogens, steroids, those kind of things. So calcium D Glucorate is my go-to supplement for estrogen dominance, family history of cancer, pap smears that you may have had that have been irregular, cancer scares, breast lumps, what else? Endometriosis, fibroids. You know, when there's any kind of estrogen dominance, calcium D Glucorate is wonderful. It works in the gut and also works on the liver to help remove these excess toxins, to help remove these excess estrogens. It's absolutely wonderful. I have been using it on my dear cat who's been sick with cancer. She's been sick for quite some time, and I use a little bit of that just to help her. It hasn't stopped the cancer growth, because I'm just sort of letting her, you know, she's quite old. But what it has done is it has taken away the kind of the violence of the symptoms, the nastiness of the symptoms. So it's helped, and it's also slowed the cancer growth down an awful lot. She's doing very well. Rebecca, calcium D Glucorate. So it's like calcium, the mineral, D, and glucorate, Glucorate. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful at supporting the liver. I actually had a client that had colitis, very bad colitis, and she was bleeding from the bowel and she had mucus. Using calcium D Glucorate and a couple of other things, we actually managed to stop the bleed and the mucus within a month, and this was a chronic ongoing issue she had. So it really works quite powerfully, and it's something that I absolutely love. You would want to do about 1 to 2 grams a day, and there are different brands out there. There's Doctor's Best from iHerb, Bioceuticals do a powder, Metagenics do a powder, and I think Bulletproof also do some supplements. So you could start at that 500 milligrams, and you could easily go up to 2 grams. Now 2 grams would be a dose for somebody with, say, something like cancer. If you're just doing maintenance or just doing it as part of a detox, 500 milligrams to a gram is fine. This is great for men as well who might have estrogen dominant symptoms. So men who have weight problems, men who have prostate problems, men who have melasma, men who might have a little bit of breast tissue. So this is wonderful for men, fantastic for them to take. If you are taking lots of supplements, I mean medication, definitely this is something you should take for your ongoing health as well. So my second supplement that I love for excess estrogen is Indole 3 Carbinol. Indole 3 Carbinol, it gives your body the precursor to create the enzymes that your liver needs to break down the estrogens. So it's kind of the cytochrome, it's called the cytochrome P450 enzymes, and they help in that phase 2. So they help with the methylation, the glutathione conjunction, the sulfation, all of those. It gives you the enzymes to kind of break those down. Indole 3 Carbinol is found in kind of your brassica kind of foods. It's found in your broccolis, it's found in your cabbage, all of those. So naturally those foods can help. But sometimes if you've got a lot of estrogen in your body, or you've got estrogen metabolites, you do need to increase this and take a tablet. There's lots of tablets out there. There's kind of DIM, there's Metagenics, there's Bioceuticals do one now. Thorne also do a great one. Doctor's Best do a great one from MediHerb, from iHerb. So that there are lots of different ones out there that really help. Fourthly, you want to be increasing your glutathione. So glutathione conjunction is a major phase in your liver's detoxification process. This is where your body uses glutathione, which is an antioxidant, to help bind to these toxins and excrete them from your body. It kind of gives them the precursors to remove them from your body. This is this is a big one. Glutathione is a big one when there's any smoke involved. So if you're a smoker, or you're in a house that's smoky, you live in a very smoky, polluted environment, cities that are very polluted, glutathione is so very important, and this is one of the antioxidants that can really help with detoxing from the external environment. But glutathione is so very important for detoxing estrogen. Very, very, very important. Now, glutathione in itself sometimes doesn't work as well, because sometimes your body doesn't absorb it. So doing the liposomal glutathione is the best thing you can do, and you want to be taking about 1 gram of the liposomal glutathione. If there's any issues with absorption, or if you have gut issues, so if you have SIBO, or you have fructose malabsorption, you have a parasite, or you have yeast or bacteria in the gut like candida, then instead of taking the glutathione, you could take N-acetylcysteine, so about 700 milligrams to 1200 milligrams of N-acetylcysteine, and this will actually help your body it'll make its own glutathione. So it'll help your body to excrete and also make the glutathione itself. You'll find when you take NaC or glutathione, it will increase your mood. Your moods will get better because it helps with serotonin production as well. And it is so wonderful at just supporting your liver. And NaC is also indicated if you take lots of paracetamol, or have taken lots of paracetamol in the past. NaC, N-acetylcysteine, is fantastic for repairing your liver, fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver, liver disease from alcohol, anything that's going on with your liver. The N-acetylcysteine is beautiful for it. Yeah, Erin, I think you should be on NaC and then the activated Bs. I think those are kind of your base. They go really beautifully together because it's indicated for those with MTHFR or any methylation issues, because those people with MTHFR have low glutathione. So we get the glutathione up. That helps with homocysteine and it supports heart health as well. So calcium D Glucorate, 3 Indole Carbinol, glutathione or NAC, and sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is a magic nutrient. Sulforaphane is wonderful. It's found in high amounts in broccoli, but in broccoli sprouts, it's very, very high in broccoli sprouts. Really wonderful. Sulforaphane, it enhances the action of glutathione, and it's also an anti-inflammatory and an antioxidant. It really helps with the sulfation and the methylation and the glutathione conjunction pathway. So all of those pathways in the liver, it's fantastic for. I absolutely love it. Sulforaphane is wonderful. There's lots of supplements out there, but you want to be taking one that's a good quality, a good quality sulforaphane. You want to be taking around 70 milligrams a day, and I think you want to be taking around 40 milligrams a day. 30 grams of broccoli, good quality organic broccoli, has about 70 milligrams of sulforaphane. So you can use that or supplement. Again, Doctor's Best do one. Thorne also have one in their Mediplex powder. There's some really great sulforaphane out there. You just have a look at the quality and make sure it's got some sulforaphane in it and it's not just sort of like a little bit of broccoli powder. Erin, so NAC does need to be taken for a long period of time. You can go on and off NAC. So anybody with MTHFR has to take NAC and acetylcysteine ongoing as a base supplement. But you want to be taking it from anywhere for about 6 to kind of 24 months to get that good action from it. So that's calcium D Glucorate, Indole 3 Carbinol, glutathione or NAC, sulforaphane, which I absolutely love, and then SAMe. SAMe is a sulfur-based nutrient that is fantastic. Now this is great for estrogen dominance, and it's great if you've got estrogen dominance coupled with depression. SAMe, it helps to make bile salts in the liver. So these bile salts act as kind of a soap. Oh, Natasha, NAC is N-acetylcysteine. It's amino acid which helps to produce glutathione, which helps to support estrogen clearance and also helps to support MTHFR. So SAMe, it's my favourite. It's really my favourite nutrient of the hour. I'm getting so many good results from it. I'm actually taking it myself. So it's wonderful if you've got gallbladder issues. It's wonderful if you've got sticky gallbladder. It's wonderful if you've got gallstones. It's wonderful if you have any bile duct issues, pain in the liver, pain in the gallbladder, depression, low moods, and estrogen dominance. Absolutely wonderful. Natasha, MTHFR, then definitely take N-acetylcysteine or some glutathione, but NAC is fantastic. SAMe, 200 to 400 micromilligrams a day. This helps with the methylation. This helps with the enzymes to do phase 2 detoxification, and it helps with glutathione. Now, if you've got estrogen dominance coupled with MTHFR, coupled with depression, then SAMe is even more indicated for you. It's absolutely indicated. It's absolutely wonderful. It's an expensive nutrient, but can help an awful lot. So I think, you're looking at spending around $80 for a good SAMe for about a month or 2 months. So it is a bit more expensive than other nutrients, but it's wonderful. That's MTHFR coupled with estrogen dominance, coupled with depression. SAMe is definitely hugely indicated for you. Samantha, N-acetylcysteine can be bought at a few different places. You can get it from iHerb, Doctor's Best, Thorne have it. You can also get it from Metagenics, from a health food store, Metagenics online, and also Bioceuticals does it as well online. And I'm not sure if Bulletproof do glutathione. I'm not sure if they do NAC, N-acetylcysteine, but go to iHerb, type it in, and there's a couple of good ones that come up. So SAMe definitely is one of my favourite, and I'm noticing this can really boost mood and it can help. It does boost serotonin, so you just want to be wary that it does do that. but it's definitely indicated for any liver and gallbladder issues. Next, glycine. Glycine is an amino acid which is absolutely wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful for anxiety, insomnia, hyperactivity, all of those conditions. Glycine is found in high amounts in hydrolyzed collagen and also bone broth. It really does help with sleep. So if you're having insomnia and you're having sleeping problems, having a little bit of hydrolyzed collagen before bed can do wonders for your sleep. But glycine supports the production of glutathione. So the more glycine you have, the more it's supporting the production and the glutathione conjunction pathway, that pathway in the liver. So the glycine is supporting it. And it also, again, goes into these reactions. So if you think about your liver as a whole chemical reaction, your liver is this machine. And in your liver, you've got glutathione conjunction, you've got methylation, sulfation, glucuronidation. So you've got all these processes. Out of these processes, you have inputs, the action, and outputs. Inputs, outputs. So if you're stressed, if you're in an environment where there's lots of toxins, you need this action in your liver, this mechanism to happen. If you don't have the inputs, the mechanism is not going to happen. So if you don't have glycine, or you don't have B12, or you don't have glutathione going into this action, you're not going to get the process and you're not going to get the output. So what essentially happens is things go into your liver to try and be processed, but there's nothing to help them process. So they'll partially process, they will create a toxic substance, and that will continue to either stay in the liver to cause inflammation, cause fatty liver, cause your enzymes to be high, or it will actually go out into your body, into your kidney, and it will cause more damage. So that's why having all these inputs is so important. Does that kind of make sense? Having the inputs so you get the outputs, just like a machine. So glycine is an input. Glycine is very, very important. It's hard to get glycine in our diet unless you're having things like collagen protein, protein powders with glycine in, added glycine as an amino acid. If you're vegan, vegetarian, you might want to look at adding in these amino acids separately, just so you can get your amino acids up to help with detoxification. A B complex. Lastly, I just want to talk about a B complex and why Bs are so important. It's exactly the input-output. So to break down uric acid, to break down ammonia, to break down food additives, to break down smoke, pollution, hydrocarbons from perfumes, your body needs to put in Bs to break these down. So essentially, to break down these toxic substances, your body and your liver is using the Bs already in your body. But if you give them these Bs from your diet or from a supplement, you're kind of giving it an excess, so the body can then break down more chemicals, more toxins, and then you're less likely to store estrogen, because your body's going to favor breaking down a hydrocarbon. It's going to favor breaking it down that rather than is in estrogen. So if you're not taking any of these things and you're noticing estrogen dominance, it's because your body is probably going through all of its inputs, and there's not enough inputs left to break down the estrogen and excrete the estrogen, because your body doesn't see that as a vital function for your survival. So in a B complex, you'd want to go for a low dose, broad spectrum activated Bs, the methyl B12, folic or folinic acid rather than folate, which is toxic. Yeah, definitely. There's no harm while you're doing the cleanse, Natasha. There's absolutely no harm taking NAC. You can actually put it, it's got like a little bit of a sour taste, but you could put it in your green smoothies, and you'll just notice it will give you a little bit more of a kick, and it will support cleansing a little bit more. So calcium D Glucorate, Indole 3 Carbinol, glutathione or N-acetylcysteine, sulforaphane, glycine, SAMe, and a low dose B. Now that's a lot. You don't want to be taking all of those. That's a lot. But I wanted to go through all of these. So if you were just trying to cleanse, you might do something like NAC and sulforaphane, or NAC and glycine. if you had very severe estrogen dominant symptoms, you would probably go with calcium D Glucorate, NAC, and then a B. And then say you had really bad symptoms, MTHFR and depression, you would add in the SAMe. So you don't need to go for all of those, but add them in when you need them. And estrogen dominance can happen to us in a few different ways. Sometimes it can just be slightly elevated estrogen. Hi Angie, nice to see you. It's been a while. Sometimes it can just be estrogen dominance that causes a little bit of a heavy, painful period, and that's annoying. But it can go through to the other stages. And I've talked about, say, having your gallbladder removed. If you've got estrogen dominance and you've had your gallbladder removed, you need to act fast. You really need to act and get your hormones to a good place, because that only will escalate, because the gallbladder is such a vital function. So I'd like to talk about gallbladder more. Maybe I'll do one next week on the gallbladder and what you can do to support hormone balance without a gallbladder, because it really means working on your digestion, your kidneys, your lymphatics, and your liver a lot more. So those are my favorite supplements to help to cleanse estrogen, and they're my favorite because they help with all the different processes in the liver, particularly the phase 2 processes where the liver is breaking down the fat soluble toxins, and then your liver is excreting it. So like I said, just pick a couple ongoing, and if there's anything serious going on, then you can add in a few more. But at the moment, those are the ones that are really doing the work to help support hormone balance and a healthy estrogen clearance. So I hope you found that helpful. Please ask any questions below and I'll get onto it. If there's any other subjects you want me to touch on, please let me know, because I always love chatting about new subjects and helping you. And I will obviously be writing this up and popping it in a blog post, so you've got some notes as well you can refer to. Thanks for all your questions. Thanks Angie. Thanks Natasha for everything. Thanks Erin. Thanks Rebecca. Thank you Grace. Thank you Nikki. And have a wonderful day everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.